Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Marvel's Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 5, Episode 11. It's called All the Comforts of Home. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, of course, we had a month off there. We had the big cliffhanger where we ended on the monolith, doing its thing, liquefying, and then cut. Not giving a shit. We had to wait and find out. Now, obviously we're going to come back, because unless they were going to say, this is the thing, see when they all appeared at the start and they were in the lighthouse and like, oh, we must be back at the right time and all that, I went, this is odd, there's like no windows or anything in here. I feel like this is easily going to be a twist where, oh no, they went back too far, or they didn't go back far enough and it's actually 10 years later or something,
Yeah, but no.
No, it's not. But it felt like they were going to do that. But just the way it kind of started in the room. And they were also sure they were back. And I felt like, you've not seen a newspaper yet. You've not looked at the news or looked out a window.
Yeah, I especially want to criticize Fitzsimmons for this. They're scientists.
Yeah.
They should be looking for evidence.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they can certainly deduce it around a different time than they were in before. But
Sure.
I don't know if they can deduce all around 2018. I don't think they can quite make
No,
that
I don't
leap.
think so.
Now, admittedly, once they get outside, it becomes clear fairly quickly they are. Probably more so to us, because we actually cut to General Hale, who obviously we saw during the Fitz episode. She's kind of taken Talbot's role, but she's a lot more vicious about it. And we had a lot of setup this episode. We had a lot of humour this episode, which was kind of set up for when things went dark towards the end, just so that the knife would be twisted. So it's a very Whedon thing to do. Again, it's this brother Whedon that's in this, not just Whedon.
Yeah. I mean, the same rules apply.
Yep, same rules apply. So that's the thing. Where to begin with this? Let's start with some light stuff. Let's talk about Deke. Because obviously everyone else is going out on their missions and whatnot, and Deke kind of appears.
Significantly later than the others.
That's true. Significantly later.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know they all popped in, and when they went in the other way, they didn't pop in together then. But
That's
I mean,
true. That was all different times. Yeah.
I assume that's because they were sent through one by one, whereas here, they were sent at the same moment, and the rest of them all arrived together. Just we're all here.
Yeah, he was with a different fragment though, in a different place. So I will just accept that that's just there was a bit of a time delay.
No, that's fair.
Because of that, for whatever reason. Obviously, it flashed at the same time. I'm just thinking because he's with a different bit, it just sent him back slightly less amount of time. Therefore, he was
sure.
Therefore, he was an hour later or whatever it was in universe time. But he just kind of appears, and I'm glad they did the thing where he hugged the tree, because my first thought was he's never seen a tree before or like anything. He's never seen leaves before, but he goes up and hugs the tree. The sky. Yeah, he looks up at a bird and he's like, "There's a bird." And I'm like. And do you know what? I'm really glad they went, because he goes to a bar, right? First of all, it's a disgusting bit where he looks like he's about to eat an ice cream cone that's been in the.
He picks it up and he goes for it. I'm like, oh man, no, don't do this. Don't do this.
That's disgusting, yeah. But he goes to the bar and he asks for a drink, and I thought immediately the barman was going to go, "That'll be, Yeah,
you can tell you don't go to bars very often.
Yeah. To be, I've been in bars before and I've been charged right away. That's not that weird.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 in my experience.
Yeah, but I thought right away they were going to do the joke where he goes to drink and he's like, "Hey, pay up, buddy," and obviously he's just like, and then it kept going, and I went, like, they can't just end this montage of him eating all this food and drinking all this booze without addressing the fact that he has no money on him because he's from the future. And it kept going on. I'm like, they can't cut away from this without having addressing that in some way. Well, it's a joke.
It's going on too long.
Yeah, and then he eats a giant burger. He's got onion rings. He's constantly getting more drinks. He basically just keeps signaling the barman every time he's finished his drink. Come here.
And he's just necking him.
Yeah. And of course it does get to the end, and he's about to leave. He's basically bowing. He's like, "Bye bye, sir," and he's on his way out. He's like, "Oh, you need to settle up, buddy." He's like, "Huh? Settle up what? What are you talking about?" And then when he says, "Oh, you need to pay," he's like, "Oh, of course," and he holds out his wrist with a little sensor on it, because that's what he uses in the future, which of course leads to him getting imprisoned, which does lead to s.h.i.e.L.D. having to come and rescue him, which is good fun, because it's funny, I actually kind of liked how they handled her when she woke up, because I think I was expecting like a more of a dramatic
Confrontation.
tense
Yeah.
standoff thing, but I kind of like where Coulson's just like, I was never leaving you behind. There was no
Yeah.
version of
And
events
she's
that
like,
played
oh,
out.
all right then.
Like, yeah, I mean, she can't be mad at that. She really
Yeah,
can't be,
exactly.
really. So it felt very natural, I think, her reaction to that.
Mm.
And then I kind of like that she was just sitting around eating cereal. So I'm not going to go outside because I'm supposed to destroy the world. So I'm just going to sit here and eat cereal
Yeah,
and
I'm,
be on
I'm
the
not going on
computer.
this mission to the light.
Yeah, with the Enoch number 2, Noah.
Yes.
Uh,
Who, who,
Joel,
who thinks Enoch was what were like frivolous?
he was reckless. Yeah, apparently he maybe went a little bit too far with what he did with bringing them
Yes.
out and sending them to the future. But the actor who plays him, Joel David Moore, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in Hatchet, which I watched again recently for
Mm.
streams after midnight, and he was in Avatar, and he's going to be in the next 4 Avatars. If you look at his IMDb page, the top 4 things there are Avatar 5,
Was he
4,
blue
3,
in
and 2.
Avatar though?
Sorry?
Was he blue in Avatar?
No.
No. Okay.
No, he was like the lab guy, scientist guy.
Ah, fair. Been a long time since I watched that movie.
Yeah. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. He's been
Yeah,
here and
he's got one of those faces that's like, yeah, I've seen you around.
Which reminds me, actually, it was bugging me what General Hale was from, because I knew her face so much. Funnily enough, she was in the S.h.i.e.L.D.
Eh,
She's one of the main characters in the S.h.i.e.L.D. But it was bugging me ever since she first popped up what she was from.
that makes sense.
And obviously she'd been gone for all those episodes, and then I seen her again. I was like, oh, wait, I know her face. Where is she from? She's from the S.h.i.e.L.D., which, of course, Clark Gregg was also in an episode of.
Yes.
Being a very different type of character, might I add. But yeah, so we have Enoch 2, aka Noah, and Sky goes to bail out Deke, and she has to pretend, because one of the things that's going on here is that everyone's after them so much. They're on the most wanted list, that their photos are distributed amongst all law enforcement. They're technically famous to them. So every time that they encounter a police officer in some way, it's like they might be recognised because they're that,
Yeah.
hunted. But they might not be. It's also equally believable that the regular beat cops might not necessarily have.
Yeah, they've looked at the pictures and they go, yeah, be on the lookout for these, but it's easy to just overlook that, isn't it?
Yeah. So Sky comes in, pretends to be a social worker, and it's basically just a comedy scene of her sort of saying how awful he is, and him.
Yeah, as he shot himself yet, basically.
Yeah, there was that. When she gives a fake name of Sonara, it just cuts to Deke, and he's like, and he just gives this little snicker.
Yeah. Sinara Smith.
Yeah, so that's Sonara Smith. It's Portuguese. The Sonara, not the Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, the whole thing was somewhat amusing. Obviously, I kind of expected Deke to come back. We kind of were thinking that anyway. But
We just assumed that, didn't we?
it was too set up to just get rid of
Do you
him.
know what? It's funny because obviously we immediately just went, yeah, he's coming back. When I was seeing, during the break or seeing people talk about it, it seemed to be the assumption was that he was dead. I was like, why?
Yeah, I don't know why. I was expecting him to come back, and I'm glad he is. I think he's got good chemistry with the rest of the cast.
I agree. I think this is a good thing. I was shocked that so many people actually thought he was dead.
And he does have good chemistry with Sky. And if he is a love interest for Sky, which it seems it's probably going to go that way, he's probably my favourite love interest for Sky, by quite a margin.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
Ward got more interesting when he became evil, but like as a love interest,
Yeah.
he was boring as shit. Like,
he became a really good character.
yeah, nothing to do with being a love interest. And then of course Electro Boy, whatever his name was, I can't remember his name.
Lincoln.
Oh, that was it, Lincoln.
I got it.
That accomplished nothing. I don't feel satisfied at all.
No, me either.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing, and they're basically left out, and then they come back in, and then they get reunited with others who have a very serious turning comment, which by the way reminds me at the start of the thing when they all come back and they're figuring things out and they're being shown around the base. Patrick Warburton, of course, the hologram
just pops up. Yeah.
and it's the hologram's from the 70s. Well, I say hologram, the projector. Sorry, I shouldn't say hologram. It's just this projected image, and the lady's it's 70s, new technology, but obviously it's all old now. But it's all stored there and stuff.
Yeah.
But they've got the 3 monoliths in the storage, amongst other things. But they're looking and it's like, there's a lot of secret tunnels out of here, and someone compares it to I think it's Simmons compares it to Agatha Christie novel or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Mac just goes, more like s.h.i.e.l.d. And I've never seen s.h.i.e.l.d., but I'm a horror fan, so I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the movie.
You got the reference.
So that cracked me up. Him going more like s.h.i.e.l.d. That was a really funny sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The first of all, I love Choppy Mall anyway, but that was a real shocking one when he referenced that because it was out of nowhere.
That was the first one,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
and it was like someone just referenced Choppy Mall, a mainstream TV show. What's happening? And now he's just knocking these out every so often. He's like,
This is like, yeah, every 2 weeks.
yeah. And then the other funny stuff, of course, is when they take the van, and there's a little moral bit where Coulson's like, oh, we've returned it, we're not going to steal anything, promise. And everyone goes in this little stupid hippie van, and they're basically sitting talking like, hey, it could be worse, at least we're not this. And they basically list every single major thing they've done in the show. It's like, oh, we're not fighting an evil robot, we're not trapped in space, we're not enslaved by an alien, we're not this, we're not that, we're not trapped in the ocean. And then May, right at the end, was, and we're not dancing.
I love that's the only thing she contributes to it as well. Everyone else is going around and around.
Uh-huh.
She goes, yeah, well, we're not dancing, so it's fine.
Oh, that's great. You could tell Ming-Na Wen is her injury has gotten better because I don't know if you were aware of this, but the reason why they injured her at the start of the season was because she actually had an injury. You even told me that. I can't remember.
I think I brought it up. Yeah.
But I think she was more active in this episode, and I was thinking it was she's probably
a bit of extra time. It's kind of healed over. Yeah.
I mean, it's 10 episodes, so I mean.
Yeah, it's a good few months.
And shooting time, that's enough time. And yeah, so they go hunting. There's this beam of light, the beacon, to sort of call in the Kree. And obviously, we were kind of speculating before. Oh, Cassius's dad's probably going to come. So it's all pretty believable in terms for us, in terms of the plot, because we're thinking, yeah, Kree are coming. That's what we're expecting this half of the season.
Yeah, and this beacon that summons Kree has been activated. So sure, Kree are going to show up.
It makes sense, and it's all about getting there. They get to the place. They get to the Quinjet, and of course, it feels like they're getting home when they get to the Quinjet, and they're on, and the theme music's playing as they're kind of touching the thing. Which reminds me, actually, at the start, when they set everything up, and they're all looking at the screens, and then it's like, okay, so we've got to stop this beacon, because the Kree's coming, and we need to save the world, and we're also on the most wanted list, and blah blah blah. It was like a list of everything that was wrong. I mean, they didn't know they were most wanted yet, because Sky figured that out later, but they knew they were wanted. They knew they were, on the run. And then there's just a sort of silence, and then Mac just goes, and we're back. And then it cut to the title. And I thought that was really funny. It was a very meta thing. And it's also just funny because it's like, yeah, they get no rest. Like, they just came back from that whole arc, and it's just immediately it's time.
Here we go again.
Yeah. That's a reference to last week's Legends of Tomorrow. So they get there, and Piper's there, who we've not seen in a little while. And I don't want to say I was good at predicting this. I do want to say though, something felt fishy.
I feel like it was really obvious immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They're creeping around this base. They go, oh, there's one person in there, and then it's Piper. I'm like, okay, this is going bad.
See if it was all the other red shirts with her, I wouldn't have questioned it. But just her felt strange.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was immediately just off, wasn't it?
Yeah. So basically, General Hale had her lure the team there. The beacon was just to lure them, and they come in, and then secret, super sexy assassin chick, and I say sexy just from figure, you don't see her face here, you just see a creepy mask, and but you can tell it's a woman, very sleek, and it's like, okay, this is like Sonara 2.0. In fact, I was half expecting the theme to start playing. I was like, damn.
I was as well. I was like, could this be Sonara in some way?
Yeah, she time travels, she's alive, or she's just younger here. This is before.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Before she's quite as badass, but
yeah, I was expecting the mask to come off and it would be all blue.
Yeah, I was thinking, is this Sonara before she got the silver balls?
Could have been. I think it's interesting that it did remind us so much of her, and I wonder if thematically that's going to come into play later, because it can't be an accident. They can't have just stumbled onto a very similar kind of presence again.
No, because Sonara was in this show was the first villain to have that sort of presence, to have that attitude, and just the way she carried herself. And this show's had quite a lot of villains. It's been pretty varied, but 2 in a row just like that feels like that can't be coincidence.
Yeah, it stuck out to me. We have a whole bit of a stand-up. I really did like that they make them put down their guns. She comes in with all these troops who we find out in a minute are robots, which fun. They're fighting robots because of course, and they're about to shoot them, and Yo-Yo just takes all their guns because super speed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Probably should have planned for that.
Yeah, tough. But of course, and the entire time this fight was going on, and obviously Coulson's convincing Piper, because Piper basically made this deal when she thought they were just dead. and she didn't really think she was betraying anyone because she didn't think they were going to show up. Right?
Yeah,
So you
and
kind
then
of
it was a
get
case of just take him in alive. It'd be fine. We'll sort it all out. Smooth it over.
yeah, but that's the thing though. Even when she agreed to it before that though, she didn't think they were going to show up. She didn't think they were alive.
Exactly.
She thought they were dead. She thought there was no one to betray, and now they've showed up, and she's just kind of going along with it, and that's why like she's not really evil. She's not like she's not turning bad per se, and so it's going on. But the entire time, and it's the other guy, Mac, Yo-Yo, and May are fighting the robots, and evil badass chick's just kind of standing at the back, and I'm like, right now they've given her a cool presence. Like I felt her presence when she walked in the room. However, to sell me her as the villain, she has to do something really bad by the end of this scene.
Yeah, she's got to do something.
She's
She
got
can't
to
just stand there.
she's got to do something dark, and because she's standing back and it's not a constant thing, it's going to be something just one big thing at the end.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it, and I wasn't sure what it was going to be. And Yo-Yo's about to run to like help Mac, and she like gets out this this bladed disc thing, and I'm
That's
like,
it. Obviously, because she sees her aiming up at Mac, and obviously Yo-Yo was told Mac's gonna die. Mm-hmm. So she's like, no, let's not do that.
And of course, early on in the episode, Yo-Yo was feeling all kind of like, oh, like, I saw myself. I said my future self said all this stuff to me. We can't change the future, Mac. She was really worried about it. And Mac kind of like said, hey, like we can change the future. We can do this. Nothing's for certain. And he kind of think, perks her up about it. But she goes in running, and I'm like, oh god, she's going to like do something bad to Yo-Yo mid-run. This is how they're going to show us how badass this person is. Is she's going to do this while Yo-Yo's at super speed.
Mm.
Sure enough, she throws this thing, and I wasn't sure like is she just going to be dead. For some reason, it never occurred to me our arms would just be cut off like we saw in the future.
I think it's because we expected the arms to have been
Cassius Slater.
Yeah, at the hands of Cassius for some. That's my assumption.
Yeah.
I think our assumption at the time was that was his torture that had done this.
Point to make here is we did see her in flashbacks, further down the timeline with arms. However, that's easy enough to counter in this show because Coulson had his hand cut off and he's walking about with what looks like a hand all the time.
Yes, exactly.
So she might have had robotic arms in those scenes.
that was my assumption. It's like, okay, so they're going to give we know they've got the tech because Coulson's got one.
Yeah.
So we'll give her some arms, but obviously by the time Cassius captures her, well, just take those arms away, obviously.
Yeah. Pretty much. It's not simple really, but it's simple in the context of the show.
It's well established.
Yeah. So. But no, it's a big dark moment, and it's very brutal, and it treats it like a big, almost death-like moment where they just wrap her in a blanket right away and they have to rush her off. And it's the kind of thing where Sky's trying to joke with me over the comm. She's like, "Hey, you never guess who I run into? That's big." And basically, no, Sky, right now, where are we going? Which, by the way, their new base, which is the lighthouse, has a secret like entrance in the ocean, in the sea.
It opens like a big waterfall style thing.
Yeah. Do you know what? If this is the last season, I'm going to be really disappointed if we didn't get at least another season of this base where they've got the big water entrance.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I'm liking the new base.
I mean, I know it was like, oh, it's a huge moment. They're just trying to get home, save Yo-Yo. But I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. So they've got the big entrance for the Quinjet, and and obviously Simmons is operating. We see that the beacon was planted with a bomb. We have a moment there where Noah kind of blasts, shields them from the blast. How much help he's actually doing, but he gets Fitz and who is it? Sky is the scene with him. May? Who's with Fitz in that scene at the end?
I'm not sure actually.
I can't remember. I think it's Sky, but anyway, they run. They bolt.
Yeah.
And that's a whole thing that's happening. And Deke said, I love how there's no real time for them to react to Deke because everything's really dark and depressing. But he just kind of comes in, he just sort of waves. He just the hands up just a little bit, which kind of amused me. And I like that Piper looks absolutely distraught because this is kind of her fault. Even though again, she thought they were dead, she didn't think there was any way they were going to show up. So she was just kind of making a deal for herself without harming anyone, and then it's turned into this. So I feel like she's going to go out saving someone later. She has to get some retribution,
some redemption. Yeah.
I think she has to go out a hero now for what she's done. And I'm not saying that in a purely sadistic sense, where I'm saying that she owes it now. I'm saying just thematically, I feel like that's where her character's going now.
No, I agree with that.
She'll get a little send off, which will work, which is cool. Coulson looking ill at one point. You know, he said it's a headache, but we know he's
Yeah, we've seen that horrible black rash thing,
yeah. So he seems to be dying.
and he's avoiding being checked out.
Yep, he's actively not letting Simmons do it because he stalls it at the start. Because at the start, Simmons is like, "Oh, I'll check everyone." We just went through like a time portal. I think it's worth checking everyone's vitals and seeing how.
And he's like,
is.
"Nah, we ain't got time for that shit."
Yeah, so he's been really sketchy about it. So Assassin Lady, right?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking because as she left the scene, I was like, "Oh, who's Assassin Lady? Who is it behind the mask? Is it like is someone turned Bobby evil or something like that?" And it's Bobby, like I was thinking like all sorts of crazy things, and it turned out it was actually just the daughter of General Hale who we saw earlier on, and like a really sort of typical bedroom, daughters being kind of a delinquent, mums try to like talk her into. Like,
it's funny because are you familiar with this actress?
I'm not, no.
So
I don't think so anyway.
She's a no. I'm aware of her just in passing. I've never actually seen her in anything. She's one of the Disney Channel girls.
All right, okay.
And I don't think she's done anything of this sort before. So when I saw her in that first teenage girl role, I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But then the assassin lady comes in at the end to that room and takes off the mask, and it's her, it's the daughter. And then you see that the bedroom that we thought was in a house is actually not in a house. It's like a cell in a a government like compound.
Facility. Yeah.
Because the other side of the door is like a big metal sort of door. It just looks like a regular door on the inside, and it's so then it's like okay, so she's not really her daughter. She's like either something they've made or someone they have
Found and trained. Yeah.
They've either trained her or they've built her. She's a robot herself, and like part of the psychology is to make her think that Hale's her mother, so they can keep control of her. That seems to be what I'm guessing right now. And then the post credits, which to be fair, like as much as I was kind of disappointed that she was the assassin lady, because I was like, okay, I just met her, so I mean it's a neat little twist in and of itself, but it wasn't as exciting as someone I knew.
It wasn't super exciting, but at the same time, I'm like, well, they did enough to give her presents, at least going forward.
Oh yeah, as a villain, but the part I did like though was that she's not really her daughter. It's this is something that's like just thinks it's a daughter. It's that relationship's just there to cultivate the right reactions from her, so she'll work for them.
It's a control. Yeah.
That's the interesting part for me, and I thought they set that up nicely. And the idea that they've trained her or conditioned her to be obsessed with S.h.i.E.L.D. because she wants S.h.i.E.L.D.
Yeah. So that's it's not going to end well, is it?
No, I don't see it ending well. So in the post-credit scene, someone who I've not seen in a long time, you can correct me if I'm misremembering this, but I believe that was the Absorbing Man.
I think it was, yeah.
From way back when. And General Hale's trying to basically hire him. She's building a team, as she puts it, to take down S.h.i.e.L.D.
She's doing Suicide Squad.
Basically, and I think, now normally I'd say that would probably be something that builds over a while. I don't think so in this case, because the next episode is episode 100. So my guess is for next week, just based on this ending, is that we're going to see, we got him at the end of this episode to sort of tease it. I think we're going to see a few other villains that we've had before.
Right, here's the question. Here's the real question. Look, episode 100. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen in this episode. How do they get Ward back? Because honestly, when you see, you see this man just walking down the street, I was like, is that going to be Ward?
Right, I'll say this right now. I think there is 100% chance that in some way we see Ward next episode.
Oh, I would put money on it.
Now, it may not be there in present day. Like, it could be a flashback. It could be like old footage of him they have to watch for some reason, and there's Ward's there. I don't know what it is, but they'll somehow get him in the episode 100 because he's a big part of the start of the show. So they're going to do it.
A big part of the start of the show, but it was also a big part. Even through to season 4. It was constantly coming back in some way or another.
Seasons 1 through 3, and then that last arc of season 4 and the thing. But even then, when he came back for that, though, it was like a while since we'd seen him because he was dead at the end of season 3.
Oh no, that's true.
Well, technically, he was dead in bed halfway through season 3, but he was Hive.
Then it was Hive. Yeah. Which they made a point of mentioning Hive this episode.
They did mention Hive, so we could see Hive. It wouldn't shock me if we somehow see Deathlock.
Yeah, that's a whole first episode thing.
Yeah, J. August Richards, of course, who was on Angel, the spin-off of the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. I'm still going. All right, who did they get? Because obviously we had Samuel L. Jackson a few times here or there. We've had Kevin Smulders a few times here or there.
Oh, you're thinking for someone from the movies.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I mean, we debated that before. I mean, it could happen. I don't know if it will, though. I feel like it could...
Thinking, is there any minor villains they could have picked up from a movie that will throw in here?
What was... I'm wondering, do you think you could get Crossbones? Is he too big an actor to do an
Mm,
episode?
well, maybe just one episode. You might get away with it.
I don't know. I was just thinking. Um, I don't know. I don't know who they could get for the
No,
movies. But
I'm kind of like, given that this is the premise set up at the end of this episode, I'm thinking, yeah, there's got to be
yeah,
a villain.
we could have 2 or 3 villains from Shield that we've seen over the years, and then one from the movies that would maybe be a
Right,
surprise.
right. I don't know. That seems feasible.
Yeah. I don't know who it'd be though. I'm trying to think of smaller villains who, like, not the big bads from one of the movies, but one of the
Henchman,
yeah.
almost. Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I'm racking my brain through the various movies.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Plus they tend to kill off a lot of the villains, so we don't really have any of
They
them
do.
around.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe the surprising thing would be like someone from like a Netflix show.
No, that's possible.
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. But it's a nice idea. Like, I get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Like, one of the villains just happens to be from the movies, or maybe one of the other shows.
I feel like if it's gonna happen, it'll be a case of, oh, that's who they used. It'll be just someone that'll be like, oh, okay, that's the one.
Yeah, yeah, I could see it. But I guarantee you, somehow, some way, we will see the face of Ward. I don't know
Yeah,
the
I wouldn't
context,
want
but we'll see it somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
I promise you that. And I don't know who else. I mean, obviously, I'd love Hunter and Bobby. We had Hunter earlier on this season. I feel like if we're going to get both of them back in one episode 100 seems, because like, what if the villain, the team of villains is like going to beat them, and then last minute,
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
the cavalry, not to be confused with May, who's also referred to as the cavalry.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, so yeah, there's options there. I don't know. That's good. I mean, I think if you'd asked me a while ago, I'd have guessed that Fitzsimmons' wedding would be on the 100th episode. It doesn't feel like we can fit that in.
No, that's gonna be end of season, I think.
Unless they do like we want to get married right now, so we're going to the we're just going to go and do it. Everyone come with us. Unless they do that kind of wedding,
Yeah, they could do.
because we almost die every day, so let's just do it now while we know we're alive.
It's possible.
That could be logic. That could be the logic they use. But I don't know. So this was episode 99. So episode 100 next week. That's exciting. I feel like they'll make it a bit of an event. I think just the idea that they're bringing some old villains back to hunt them down, probably led by a teenage robot girl or whoever she ends up being.
Yes, probably. But I mean, she's got a presence. So
No, she does.
So I mean, obviously no real character as of yet. But hey, that's fine.
I don't think she even necessarily needs that much of a character if she's, because especially if the character is essentially fake, like, cause she the way she feels is all kind of fabricated.
Right, but I assume we're gonna have the point of realization that she's fake, so to speak. That existential crisis almost of what am I?
Maybe it depends what they do with it, but
Yeah.
I think the presence and the just the brutality of it, and the idea that she cut off Yo-Yo's arms just to draw out Sky. That's all it was for, and then she let them go because she's not interested. Sky's not there.
Yeah, and she's got a bomb with him anyway. It's fine. That'll do what it needs to.
Which
do.
reminds me, actually, back when they were listing everything they've went through, it's like, at least we're not fighting Sky's mother, but at least we're not fighting Sky's father.
Yeah.
Oh dear. No, glad to have S.h.i.e.L.D. back. This was definitely an episode that was kind of setting everything up. By the new status quo, it was kind of like, okay, so we're in this small town, we got a new base, what are the rules? And obviously, I still expect the Kree to show up, but it's definitely, at least for the 100th episode, we're going to be dealing with this villain team, I think.
I agree. The only way I can see it being otherwise is if his father shows up at the end.
At the 100th? I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But even if he shows up, that's like, it's just a tease. Like, that's not the focus of the episode.
Right. That's what I mean. But I can see him just doing it in the 100th just to have it as another thing.
I think we'll focus on the team of villains. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if maybe Hale's daughter, quote unquote, will stick around, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Hale plot itself, I'm not saying this is definitely going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if that is actually mostly wrapped up in the 100th, if that was like it was just for the 100th, and they're going to like deal with that, and then we'll start the Kree
Whatever we've
plot.
got after that, yeah.
Now I could be completely wrong. They might not do that, but I'm just thinking, if to take down this villain team, take down Hale. They mentioned Talbot's in the coma, which means I'm really excited to Talbot waking up and coming in and like basically saying to Hale, "Hey, this is my job.
Let's get him to take a quick break from Supergirl.
Yeah,
Release some S.h.i.e.L.D.
It's not like he's in every episode anyway. He's got time.
He's just a recurring guest. He's not a regular. It's fine.
And besides, Piper is someone who shifted between both shows repeatedly for a season or two. So
that's it. Not seen her on either for a while before this episode.
Maybe she's getting bigger roles. She's too big now to be a red shirt.
yeah, that's possible.
I want to do other things with my time. God damn it. Actually, it's not been that long since she was in Supergirl.
I know. Feels like a while.
She was in. I mean, okay, that's maybe like 6 episodes ago, but it was the episode with the religious guy, like the symbol in the field. She was there in that scene.
That was before Christmas, right?
Yeah, it's before Christmas. But we've only had a few episodes.
Oh
since
Christmas. I know. We had 4 since after Christmas. So I'm saying that's a while ago.
It was this season, though.
Oh yeah.
We've not seen her on S.h.i.e.L.D. this season.
No, that's true. She's I don't know. Maybe the DEO are paying her a bit more this year.
Yeah, maybe.
She didn't need to moonlight as a S.h.i.e.L.D. agent too.
They're fighting over her. They're fighting over her. They want her on both shows.
Yeah.
I don't know, but hey. So obviously, just to go back to the dark stuff for a second, Yo-Yo, of course, got her arms cut off, and she's convinced that means everything's going to happen the way it did happen, and that's going to make her.
It's pretty damning evidence.
It's really dark. She is not going to be a cheery character for the next while.
No, probably not.
Probably not, and I don't imagine Mac will be that cheery either. But
that's the question. Does someone die in the 100th?
Possibly. It's the time to do it.
Yeah, it is.
But question becomes who. And we've speculated enough as to what villains might pop in. Really badly, might I add. We didn't
really end up with anything, did we?
We didn't name anyone. But I mean, I expect other villains from the shows past in some way. Some of the smaller ones. I wouldn't even be shocked at a Ghost Rider appearance, maybe.
Yeah, I can see it. It's one of those. If there's ever a time.
Especially since we'll still have to deal with the fact that Coulson made that pact.
We do, and see if someone's going to die in the 100th, I could see it being Coulson.
It would be a big deal if Coulson died in the 100.
It would, which is why I can see it happening.
It'd be a big deal. But hey, we'll find out next week, folks. So let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can get a link to that down in the description, but otherwise that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV, and we'll see you next time. Have you got any vanilla?